What's going on, guys? Today's topic is perfectionism. Why perfectionism is killing your gains. Perfectionism, it kills a lot of gains. Tell someone they're a perfectionist, they'll probably take it as a compliment. It sounds like discipline, ambition. It sounds like someone who simply refuses to settle for the average. But if perfectionism were really the advantage we think it is, then perfectionists would dominate every field, right? They don't. In fact, some of the most talented people never reach their potential because they spend more time prepping to begin than actually beginning. That's the strange thing about perfectionism. It doesn't stop you with obvious excuses. It stops you with reasonable ones. The timing isn't right. I need a little more practice. I'll start when I'm better prepared. Each excuse makes sense on its own. But over weeks, months, and sometimes years, those reasonable delays quietly become a life of unrealized potential. The tragedy isn't that perfectionists aim too high. It's often they never stay in the game long enough to find out what they're actually capable of. The lie we tell ourselves. Most people think perfectionism comes from having high standards. Sometimes it does, but more often it comes from wanting certainty in a world that refuses to give it. We convince ourselves that if we prepare enough, we'll eventually reach a point where everything feels safe. We hopefully think. The first upload won't be awkward. The first business won't fail. The first attempt won't be criticized. We're waiting for confidence before we take action. The problem is that confidence isn't something you collect beforehand. It's something that grows afterward. Think about the first time you drove on the highway. Nobody felt completely ready. There was some nerves up in there. You learned because you drove. The first few minutes were uncomfortable. Then the first few days got easier. Eventually, you stopped to think about it. It just became second nature. Confidence wasn't the starting point. It was the result. That's true for almost everything worth learning. Why planning feels so good. If action is what creates progress, why do so many of us stay stuck planning? Because planning feels productive without exposing us to risk. There's a reason it's easier to spend 3 hours watching videos about fitness than to spend 1 hour inside a gym. One requires effort. The other only requires curiosity. The same thing happens with almost every goal. A new creator spends hours studying camera settings instead of recording the first video. I'm not saying those things are useless, but eventually they stop being preparation and start becoming a hiding place. Preparation has an expiration date to say. Once you know enough to begin, learning without doing becomes another form of procrastination. It's a comfortable way of feeling productive while avoiding the only thing that actually moves you forward. The difference between learning and knowing. There's another trap hidden inside perfectionism. It tricks us into believing that understanding something is the same as being able to do it. It isn't. You can read 10 books about communication and still freeze during an important conversation. You can watch hundreds of cooking videos and still burn your first meal. You can study filmmaking for months and still have no idea what it's actually like to edit your own footage. Why? That's because knowledge and experience isn't the same currency. Knowledge tells you what might happen. Experience teaches you what actually happens. Every failure, sound like I'm from New York. Every failure reveals a blind spot. Every completed project shows you where your assumptions were wrong. Those lessons can't be downloaded from a book or borrowed from someone else's experience. They have to be earned. The hidden cost of waiting. Perfectionism rarely ruins lives overnight. Instead, it steals progress so slowly that you barely notice it. Imagine two people deciding to start YouTube. The first uploads one imperfect video every week. The second spend 6 months trying to make the perfect first upload. By the end of those 6 months, the first creator hasn't just published more content. They've learned what keeps people watching, improved their editing, become more comfortable speaking to a camera. They figured out what titles worked, what thumbnails fell, and which ideas people actually care about. The second creator may have one polished video. The first creator has something much harder to replace: momentum. That's the real advantage, not perfection, momentum, because momentum makes the next decision easier. The camera feels less intimidating. Editing becomes faster. Publishing stops feeling like a huge event and starts feeling like part of the process. Progress has a way of building on itself, but only after you've given it something to build on. Protecting your image instead of building your skill. One of the hardest truths about perfectionism is that it often has very little to do with the quality of the work. It has more to do with the image we have of ourselves. Nobody enjoys looking inexperienced, making mistakes in public, but avoiding these moments comes at a price. If your goal is to never look like a beginner, you'll never stay one long enough to become an expert. Every expert you admire has an invisible history. Or not, old videos they hope nobody finds, terrible first drafts, ideas that failed, projects that never worked. The difference isn't that they avoided those failures, it's that they accepted them as part of the piece of getting better. Somewhere along the way, they stopped asking, what if this isn't good enough? Instead, they started asking, what can this teach me? That single shift changes everything, because once every attempt becomes a lesson, failure stops feeling like the opposite of success. It becomes part of the process that creates it. A better standard. Maybe the goal was simply to become a little better than yesterday. That's a standard you can actually live by. Not because it lowers the bar, but because it keeps you moving. Like no cap. Moving is better. Like, what humans are just known to just keep moving. When you stay stagnant, nothing happens. You get nothing out of nothing. You get something out of something. Yeah, but you get nothing out of just doing nothing. Every finished project becomes a foundation for the next one. Every mistake becomes data instead of evidence that you're not talented enough. Every uncomfortable moment becomes proof that you're stretching beyond what's familiar. Growth isn't dramatic most days. It's repetitive, quiet, almost damn near boring. But in this reality, that's exactly how it works. The biggest transformations usually don't happen because someone made one perfect decision. They happen because someone kept making ordinary decisions long after the excitement was gone. Do you know what insanity is? Lost for now, guys. Alright, so I'm trying to do like 2 videos a week. I'm really gonna try and pump more videos out. It's just, as you guys can see my background, I know a new spot, moved in. Shit, for lost for now. Environment is a big, huge factor. Environment is not get talked about. So you need to put yourself in a good environment so you can be productive. Just do what you want to do. Subscribe. Join the Discord. Yeah, but we got some fire shit coming in the future.